What's good, y'all? This your country cousin Pete McCorvey, a.k.a. Petey Mac. Man, get on up here. Pull you up one, light you up one, kick your shoes off, relax, baby. You around family. We on the porch. It's Pete McCorvey's Porch Talk. Let's do this.
Yo, what's good, family? This your country cousin Pete McCorvey, a.k.a. Petey Mac. Welcome back to the porch once again. How y'all week was? Oh, man, mine was slow motion. Everything being kind of cool. Actually, wasn't a bad week. I mean, nothing really significant really happened, but, you know, nothing bad happened. You know, like Mel Bernstein told Tony Montana on Scarface, every day above ground is a good day. And that's how I really felt about this past week. Nothing bad happened. So to me, that's all good. I said nothing bad happened, but we got to start this one off. Usually I roll into like music or whatnot. Before I get into the new music that I discovered, excuse me, y'all, because this one hard. Like, we lost 3 heavy hitters when it comes to not just black music, but to music. One that we lost like later last week, earlier this week. I think it was like Saturday night, Sunday morning, if I'm not mistaken. Ooh, this one's hard for me. We lost Angie Stone. And that one was a hard pill for me to swallow, especially after coming off of, you know, losing 2 people from movies. One was Michelle Trachtenberg, who played a big role in my life as a 90s kid, and another one was Gene Hackman, who was in 2 movies, one that was detrimental to my state, Mississippi Burning. Another one was one of my favorite movies about my favorite sports, basketball, and that's Hoosiers. To lose a woman who gave us a lot of soulful hits, especially neo soul hits, Angie Stone. Yeah, that one was a tough one to swallow. And actually, which was crazy, because she was coming back from down, like close to where I'm from. She was leaving Mobile, Alabama. She had a performance out there for, I believe, for the Mardi Gras season. I talked to my mom. My mom told me she was actually the grand marshal for one of the parades. She was on her way back to Atlanta, Georgia, and they was like somewhere outside of Montgomery. They had a collision, and she didn't survive. So that's a big blow to music. Another one, a couple of days ago was, you know, Roy Ayers. You know, for a lot of y'all that y'all know him, he has the song "Ain't No Sunshines." But if you still don't know who he is, it's the My Life, My Life, My Life, My Life, Ain't No Sunshine. You know, made real famous by Mary J. Blige when she sampled it for My Life. Also, if you remember the beginning of Straight Outta Compton, that's a song that Dr. Dre was listening to on the headphone for his mama came and shut it off. And if you watch Snowfall and saw the scene where Melanie's crack addiction was taking her into a downward spiral, that's the song that played over there. So that was a real one. Now, the last major music death we had, I saw this last night, like right before I went to bed. We lost Dwayne Wiggins from Tony. And for some reason, I don't not know why, but as soon as I saw that he had passed, the first song that came through my mind was Whatever You Want. Because he just did his thing on Whatever You Want. And as a matter of fact, everybody online, that was the song that they put up saying R.I.P. to him. So yeah, we just had a trifecta. It's just like the Reaper is coming to collect. And it's like one of my friends say, it seems like my whole childhood is dying out. And that's the one thing I just really don't like. Just our childhood is just slowly fading from us, man. And that's the part of getting old. I told a younger guy I worked with last year, he experienced a death, and I told him, I said, man, that's the one thing about getting old you're going to hate, bro, because this is, I said, unfortunately for you, this is the tip of the iceberg. Because the older you get, the more people you're gonna lose. So yeah, like I said, R.I.P. to them now. Like I said, on the music, coming out the West Coast, LaRussell just released another album, which is like saying water is wet, because LaRussell is always releasing music. That man be working. I be wondering when Buddy be having time to sleep. He called it Party on the West Side, which he has the song with him, Larry June, a couple other people on there that's titled after the album. Love that song. And then another song he has on there is called Am I Musty, which I was like, am I musty? And then I thought about it, like when you are musty and you smell somebody musty, you be like, ooh. So basically, he was like saying, do I have a funk? Like he talking about his music, which I love the song, but the video is what I love even better. The reason I love the video is because it's him and the passenger side of one of them little carts, like if you're at the football stadium, the carts that they put somebody on their engine to wheel them out to like either take them to the locker room or take them to the ambulance to before they transport them to the hospital. He was in the passenger side, and the person who was driving the cart was none other than Beast Mode himself, Marshawn Lynch. And the stadium they was in was the UC Berkeley football field. And they had Beast Mode in there. He had a black mile in his mouth, and he was swinging the cart left and right, and doing his Bay Area jug and everything. I said to myself, it don't get no more East Bay than having Beast Mode drive this cart on the UC Berkeley Golden Bears football field, swinging it, and then stopping at the 50 while he going dumb. Like that video I swear to God, it made me jealous that I wasn't from the Bay. So yeah, LaRussell, keep doing your thing. Now another album we got out the West, and I was so happy for this. And I'm actually mad that Spotify didn't tell me about this, because this album actually was released last Friday. And I went through my albums trying to see what new albums was out, and it didn't tell me nothing. But y'all heard me say them a few times over like the course of last season, I think a couple times this season. Pookie Efren Rude out of Long Beach, California, finally just released an 18-track album called Rebirth of the West. And I was just so geeked inside. But another thing I was happy about, because he actually put caption on his album cover. He actually put the name of it. His album cover is it's one of those like oil paintings that you be seeing, and it's like the one of all the West Coast rap legends. Look like they're in the alleyway and all. They got Snoop Dogg, Kendrick, I think YG is on there, Nip is on there, Too Short, 40 Waters on there, Snoop. But he did that, and then he put himself in there. So he already had me with the album cover. Oh man, all the songs he kind of released over the last couple years I've been following, he put them on there, like Never Da, Just One of Them Days. Of course, Put That On Everything was on that. He had another remix to Put That On Everything, but he got not just the legends he had on his legend mix, but he also put a lot of current artists on there. Like one artist he put on there is one that my cousin told me about last year, and I've been on him. And if you follow West Coast rap, that's a guy named Zoe Osama. And he had him on there doing his thing. Had a couple other artists on there. It was just only one artist on that new mix that just didn't ride the beat. But everybody else, they killed it. Even the ladies that was on there killed it. Like I said, the album was just 18 tracks of just straight, just West Coast shit. Man, I wanted to put on some khakis and some chucks and some lokes and just vibe out. Like I said, I listened to the album like 2 or 3 times, man. So I'm definitely glad to see he finally took all those tracks and made them an album. And that's what a lot of the artists really need to do. They need to take these tracks that they be slowly releasing, and then at the end of the day, just say fuck it and just put it on the album, make it an album. So, yeah, I'm real happy with the music I got this past week. Now, kind of mad with TV because, kind of mad, but I'm also kind of happy because there was no new episode of The Rookie this past week, which makes me mad because James got shot last week. That's Harper's husband, James, who played by Alan Strange. If you from the 90s, you remember R.J. Smith, he played Alan Strange. Good to see that brother back working. And they left us on a cliffhanger, so now we had to miss a week. I hate when shows do that 1 or 2 week absent after something like that happens. So hopefully next week we can see what happened and see if James pulled through, which I think James is going to pull through. I don't think they're going to kill James off. Also, Raising Kanan is back. Happy that it's back. I kind of don't like what they did with the new episode. They kind of backtrack 3 months from the events of the last episode. I'm like, man, no, I want us to keep moving forward. We keep moving forward so we can see what's happening, what's transpired. Once again, Patina Miller doing her thing is Rock. Joey Badass doing his thing is Unique. They got Chris Redd from Saturday Night Live in there. That was a shocker, but he actually did his thing. I forgot he was in New York. He was a real New York hardhead. London Brown still doing his thing as Uncle Marv. And it's just still hard I thought that now that we got to this new season, it was the last we were going to see of Lou being Liquor Lou. But, you know, they got to go back and we got to see Liquor Lou. Like, I'm going to tell y'all about Raising Kanan. His character has had the biggest fall to me. Because with first season, I love Uncle Lou. Uncle Lou was that guy. Second season, he was still constrained. Then last season, it was just like, boy, this nigga is a drunk mess. He just a bitch now. But that speaks to the testament of the actor Malcolm Mays. I mean, you know, he always do good things. If y'all watch Snowfall, when he was Kevin on Snowfall, he did a good thing, which was honestly pretty good for him, because I found this out recently that he's actually Crip's co-founder Stanley Tookie Williams' nephew. So that really hit home for him. But yeah, like I said, that's a testament to his acting and everything. But like I said, good first episode. I just wanted to see how we was going to go after all the events that transpired in the season finale of season 3. But I guess we're working up to that. And I'm ready for Book 4 to come back. I'm ready for Force to come back and see what Tommy doing up in Chi-Town. So pretty good season opener. I mean, I ain't gonna say it's the best, but I've seen worse. New show also that's streaming on Netflix. So they got a new show that just came out on Netflix. It's called Running Point. That stars Kate Hudson, Jay Ellis, Brenda Song, and Chet Hanks. For those y'all don't remember Chet Hanks, that's he was Blake on Empire, and he's also shockingly, still shocked the hell out of me, that's Tom Hanks' son, which is crazy because his oldest son, Colin Hanks, just is about as white bread as it can be. Chet Hanks is about as John B-ish as you can get, which I don't even like I said, I don't even know how them two, he like Robin Thicke was for real, because like he just got too much soul in him. I don't know, like I said, it's not like he faking, that's just how he is. Now, the premise of the show is Kate Hudson. She plays Isla Gordon. You know, she's the daughter of a professional basketball team owner for the show the team called the LA Waves. So when you hear the LA Waves, and she's the daughter of the owner of that, LA Waves is a dead giveaway. The Waves, that's the LA Lakers. Waves, Lakes, LA Lakers. And her being the daughter of the deceased owner, that ain't nothing but Jared Buss and Jeannie Buss. She basically Jeannie Buss. And how she ended up becoming overseeing the president of the team, she inherited the team after her oldest brother got a DUI, and her dad had it in a stipulation for the contract that he didn't trust his other two sons. He felt they was incompetent, so he wanted her to run it. And, you know, it pretty much is like, It play like all them other zany shows that deal with like sports organizations and everything. Just crazy mishaps. She pretty much is like a vulgar former quote unquote party girl who got good business savvy. Then they had my man, like I said, Jay Ellis in there for those y'all who remember Jay Ellis. That is Lawrence from Insecure. He's in there. He plays Jay Brown. He's the Zen-like Buddhist head basketball coach of the Waves. That's a dead giveaway. This motherfucker Phil Jackson. I'm like, okay, so he clearly Phil Jackson. Which we know Phil Jackson ain't black, but I ain't gonna lie. Let's listen to the name. If you would have never seen a picture of Phil Jackson and you heard that name, you would think Phil Jackson a brother. So I was like, okay, so he's clearly Phil Jackson. And I love what they did with them in the well, I'll get to that later. Then Brenda Song, she's in there. And it's crazy. Like, Brenda Song has really broken out of her shell because a lot of roles she's been in, like she plays like Ali Lee, which is Isla. What? Excuse me, I didn't even say Kate Hudson's character name. Isla Gordon is her character's name, and Brenda Song plays Ali Lee, who is Isla's like best friend and slash executive assistant. And she just be like cussing up a storm, like she's from Chicago and all this, that, and the third, and she just like that tough Chicago-ness about her. Like, Brenda Song is not London Tisdale like we remember from Sweet Life of Zack and Cody. She a baddie now. She grew up to be a baddie. Macaulay Culkin, boy, like Bernie Mac said on House Party 3, ooh, you's a lucky man. But like she's like, I think she really, I don't know if that's like discomfortable for her, because that may be how she really is, her personality, how she really is, because she was on a show that used to come on Hulu a few years ago called Dollface, and she was kind of like that. But she plays it well. And she, like, to me, I like her bluntness, because she gonna tell her how it is, and she don't care who feelings she gonna hurt. Chet Hanks, he plays Travis Bug. He a white, trash, overhyped point guard who trying to rap and do brand, like, I always talking about his brand and stuff, and he from Pensacola, Florida, which, I'm not gonna lie, Pensacola do got some white trash people, so I can see why they put him from Pensacola. But, like, they just got him so dumb, because it was a scene in one of the episodes where him and Kate Hudson's character, Isla Gordon, goes to a high-class restaurant. And one day in a high-class restaurant, they have a sommelier come over. You know, that's people who know about wines. Their expertise of wines and how they're made and where they come from. This fool said, I didn't know they had white people in Somalia. I thought that was an African country. I'm like, oh my Lord, this motherfucker don't even know what Somalia is. I was like, well, I like, okay, so now I'm gonna just get to how I feel about the show. Wow, I'm a fan of seeing all these people work, because I've watched them over the years, and I love all their bodies of work. Hell, I'm going to even tell y'all this, and you can say what you want to say. Kate Hudson actually had a leading role in one of my favorite movies, and I've never told people this unless they know, but I love the movie, the chick flick, How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. That's one of my favorite movies. So I've been a fan of hers off the strength of that movie, so anything I see she in, I'm going to pay attention to it. I love Jay Ellis ever since he was on Insecure. You know, I was happy to see him in Top Gun, because Top Gun was one of my favorite movies growing up, and the fact that he was in the sequel, that made me want to go see it more. And I actually, because they shot that movie on my last ship I was stationed on, and before I got there, a lot of my friends told me he hella cool, so good to see her brother winning. Anything I can see Brenda Song in. This is my childhood. I love to see people from my childhood still winning. And Chet Hanks, I ain't gonna beef with him. He cool. I mean, I love his dad, so since he on the strength of his dad, I'm gonna fuck with him. But the show was nothing more than it was just a female-led shows, a show we'd already seen. It pretty much was a mix of The Game, Ted Lasso, Ballers, and that old show that used to come on HBO way back in the day. I think I was a baby when it came on. Used to have O.J. Simpson and Delta Burke. That's Suzanne Sugarbaker. For those of y'all who used to watch Designing Women with your grandmama when you had to go to the house sick, and it came on a Lifetime, called First and 10. That's all it was. It's like nothing spectacular, nothing that was just like attention grabbing or anything like that. It was amusing, but it just like it wasn't must see streaming for me. Like I wouldn't feel pressed like, oh, I got to get home and I got to watch what's going on Running Point. So I'm not gonna lie. If it get picked up for second season, cool. If it don't, I'm really not gonna be surprised, and I'm really not gonna like cry about it. So yeah, decent show. I give it a C plus. You know, yeah, ain't really nothing to write home about. Now the last thing I'm gonna talk about before I get up out of here, this is just about a hard. So it seemed like I just sandwiched this episode because started off talking about death and we got to end it talking about death. So it's two stories about two brothers who lost their lives pointlessly. The first one, well, both of them kind of hit home for me personally. And the first one, I'm going to say why it hit home for me was because it's out of Keysville, Georgia, which is Burke County. And that hits home for me because, like, when I was stationed in Augusta, Burke County was the next county over. And I've drove through Keysville many times. And I had a couple friends who lived out in Keysville. My boy Kevin, his family is from over there. And this is about a young man named Telvin Telbo, who was shot by his white girlfriend, Hannah Grace. And they said what happened was she claimed she was cleaning her gun and it went off. And I think they trying to pin involuntary manslaughter on y'all. Now, this whole story is BS. And I'm going to tell you why it's BS. Because if you're cleaning your gun, there's no way in the world you're going to have live rounds in that gun. That gun would be all the way empty. And I'm going to tell you why it'd be all the way empty. Because me being in the military, I've had to take the first 2-3 years I was in the military. I had to do firearms training because I stood sentry duty on a regular basis. So we learned weapons handling. And these are the 4 things they teach us about weapons handling. There's a 4-word phrase we got for it. It's keep, treat, never keep. And I'm going to go into detail what that means. The first keep is keep the muzzle down range. Basically, that's away from no object you don't want to get hit. You don't want to fire upon. Number 2 is the most important one. And I was told this not just by military instructors, but by like people in the street, the country ass people like my grandmama, my grandfather, and my dad when I used to go hunting with him. You treat every gun as if it's loaded. You treat every gun as it's loaded. I had an incident when I was in Washington. There was a guy that was a fellow comedian. We were also at the club one night. He had a gun around. He was just waving it around, just being real careless. And I snapped him. I said, man, put that fucking gun down. He's like, bro, it's not loaded. And I was like, it don't matter. You treat every gun if it's loaded. And his partner used to be in the Army. His little goofball ass. He was like, yeah. He's like, I said, bro, weren't you in the Army? Yeah. Did you not go to the range? He said, yeah. I said, they teach us this on the range. Why are you letting him wave this gun around? The second one is never point at anything you do not plan to shoot. So, you know, you don't even play like that. Like, I've had people, like, do that, just, like, play with the gun and aim my face. I'll be like, I will beat your ass. If you're like, oh, man, it ain't lost. I don't give a fuck. You don't point no gun at nobody. Like, that's not something you play with. And the last one, this is, like, the last fail-safe. That's keep your finger off the trigger until you are ready to fire. So that's how I know that this wasn't really, this was BS. Because, like, after learning them 4 things, I can't even watch movies anymore. Because movies are ruined for me. Because the way people's trigger discipline is so crappy. And they're like, one movie, love it to death. One of my favorite movies. And I used to wear it out. I used to get on people's nerves about it. Because I used to watch it all the time. And at one point in time, it almost made me want to do what the people was doing in the movie. I used to want to be a narc. And that's Bad Boys 2. And the one scene I'm going to talk about is the KKK shootout in the beginning. I watch that now and cringe because Will Smith, Mike Lowry, trigger discipline was atrocious in that first scene. He was flagging. Flagging is when you wave the gun, the muzzle of the gun across somebody. He was flagging friendly targets. He was just being reckless with it, had his hand on the trigger. But the number 2 parts that made me mad is one is when he did that Max Payne like sideways leap and fire. Is like you're not even taking proper aim. And then the other part was when he was like rolling around in the dirt just firing rounds. I'm like, his trigger discipline is god fucking awful. But I still watch the movie though, because that's one of my favorite movies. But I just can't, every time I watch it, I cringe. And what get me about this is there's some terrible people out here. Because people out here saying he deserved to die because obviously I guess he was putting up, some very nasty things about black women. And with his girlfriend being white, Kim like, oh, that served him right and this, that, and the third. And I'm like, that is despicable to say that you think somebody deserved to die because they expressed their opinion. Now, granted, don't get twisted. I ain't saying the boy right now think he full of shit talking about some black women this, black women that. But if you live long enough, you gonna see people of all races ain't worth a damn. Like, that's just like when black women like, I don't mess with black men because black men do this, black men do that. Girl, white men just as bad too. Trust me, I done learn, since I've been in the Navy, I done learned some of the most toxic relationships or situationships that happen. I've ran into them more for my white coworkers than I have my black coworkers when I was in the Navy. But, yeah, people like mainly it's like, I see some black dude, but mainly it's like black women who will get mad. And black women, I love y'all to death. But y'all gotta understand, everybody on this world don't find y'all desirable. Y'all want to be desired by everybody. Everybody's not gonna desire the black queen. And you can't get mad when they don't. I mean, you can tell that nigga go to hell, because he do for that thought process, but not like say he deserved to die. And the person who really killed me by saying he deserved to die, and he just been batting 1,000 lately for saying some distasteful shit, is the comedian Godfrey. And I love Godfrey. But Godfrey's like, you deserve that, your mother black and all that, you deserve that. First of all, bro, that's real distasteful, because Godfrey is a very intelligent brother. And for him to say something like that, that kind of struck a nerve for me. And then I'm going to just keep it honest about Godfrey speaking out on this situation. Yes, I understand Godfrey's first generation American. His parents are, if I'm not mistaken, Nigerian. He's African, but like I said, I'm mistaken, he's not Nigerian. His parents are Nigerian. But Godfrey ain't really, that well accepted in black community, i.e. he ain't hood like that, to really be saying that type of shit, that's like if you would have heard DC Young Fly, Drewski or something, like getting mad about it. I understand, because they are, all the way enthralled in blackness, by the stereotypical sense. But Godfrey saying that, because Godfrey Like, when he put that up, somebody in the comments said, I could have sworn I seen this man walking somewhere with a white woman. Because, like, Godfrey would be what the ignorant black person consider as acting white at first glance. You know, so for you to say that, that's kind of like raising everybody like, bro, you serious? Because you ain't all the way with us. And it hurts my heart because anybody listening, I love Godfrey. He's a comedy OG to me. Not saying like, oh, he might, like, OG put me on. I'm just saying, like, I look up to him as somebody who's been doing comedy, watching him ever since, before I even thought about doing comedy. Seen him on Comic View back in the day. But, you know, bro, you ain't the voice of blackness, for real, for real. Let's keep it funky. For you to say that, that really rubbed me the wrong way. Because, yeah, you don't wish death on nobody. Like, just because you mad, he was talking down about black people and all this, that, and the third. Okay. I talk down on the Cowboys. You know, somebody can talk down on the Raiders. People talk down on my Broncos. And people talk down on my Florida State Seminoles. But they earned it. So I ain't mad at them talking about. That don't mean because they did all that, they deserve to die. And you know what I'm saying? You don't know what that man's thing was with black. He could have been traumatized by black, but like I'm saying that I am sympathizing and I agree with him because, like I said, I don't like black men shitting on black women in a public forum because any man know this. It ain't just black women who crazy. All damn women crazy, and I'm going to stand on that. But ladies, don't get it twisted. I ain't taking a shot at y'all because all men are stupid. But yeah, like, say he deserved to die and everybody's like online saying, good, I'm happy he dead. And you know what, y'all? I'm going to pray for y'all because that's the reason why I said I can't go to hell because there's going to be too many people down there. I'm going to know because saying shit like that, that's... Yeah, you can't go into heaven like that. That's ugly, man. You can't make it to heaven like that. But yeah, that was kind of distasteful to me on Godfrey saying that. Now, the next story I've been following this one closely because it really just, I'm so sick of this. So, Caleb Wilson was a junior and a member of the marching band, you know, the Human Jukebox at Southern University, which is HBCU in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. He was killed in a hazing incident last week. I get so sick of this from these black fraternities and sororities. Because, like I said, it's Southern in Baton Rouge. So it's an HBCU, so you know it's one of the 9 black fraternity sorority where we call ourselves the Divine Nine. I'm a part of that as a member of Alpha Alpha Fraternity Incorporated. But I'm so sick of this. And I'm not going to say which organization he was because I don't want to bring any more negative light to that organization. Because this guy who killed him, he's a slap in the face of that organization because I actually know a lot of good brothers who were in that organization, who are in that organization. Some of the best brothers you'll know. I know a lot of good brothers throughout all the organizations. Matter of fact, the organization that this young man was trying to pledge, I was around them a lot growing up because my mama is their soror, because I'm not going to say which one she in. But so I came up, they was like one of the first ones I know. So I know they got some good brothers, but I'm just so sick of this. Like, we need to, as black fraternity sororities, we need to stop this goofy shit with this hazing. Because I've said it once and I've said it again. This hazing shit does not promote brotherhood and sisterhood. It is some slave mentality shit. You got beat on, so I'm going to beat on you. This is the Willie Lynch letter at work. And for those of y'all don't know about the Willie Lynch letter, I'm going to educate y'all today. Go look up the Willie Lynch letter and read it, and you'll understand what I'm talking about. Is the Willie Lynch letter still working today? Willie Lynch was right in his letter. He said, if you do this, you're going to control the Negro for 400, 500 years. And they still are. Beating someone does not constitute brotherhood or sisterhood. Having them clean your house does not constitute brotherhood or sisterhood. Having them wash your car does not constitute brotherhood or sisterhood. And last but not least, and this is the other one, but this last but not least, trying to get them to perform sexual favors is not constituting a brotherhood or sisterhood. Because I heard some stories. It ain't happened to me or nobody know, but I heard some stories about that. Because I remember when I was online for my fraternity, they actually said, what are you expecting from this? And I said, I expect y'all to get in my face, calm it down. I said, I didn't even expect for you to put your hands on me, which I really stupid about. I said, but one thing I'm going to tell you this, you touch my face, you touch my groin. I said, we going to have a problem. I said, you're not touching my face and my groin. And I remember I told my mama like, I don't think you should. I said, no, I'm letting the man know you ain't finna physically assault me. 3 letters going across my chest ain't worth you taking away my dignity and punking me out. Nah, we ain't doing that. I ain't going for that. And I let that be known to the house full of the big brother, like, you touch my face, you touch my nuts, it's going down. It's going down. This ain't gonna be a good day. But I think I am happy about this situation. They did finally make an arrest. And when they said they made an arrest, they said the person they arrested was a former student. It's a brother, but nah, he ain't a brother. It's an idiot by the name of Caleb McCray, who was a former student of Southern, who was in that chapter that young man was trying to pledge. When I heard former student, it burned me up, because everybody, I had one guy who was in this chapter tried to say this, because I'm going to tell y'all what I said this represents. And he was like, well, he just graduated last year and they don't make him no old head or nothing like that. I said, what the fuck difference does that make if he graduated now? He graduated 20 years. You justifying this man killing this boy? And then this dude told me, oh, you just trying to get likes and clickbait and all that clown. Then I went through and come find out he was one of his fraternity brothers from that chapter, one of his profiles. I said, oh, I just went through your profile. I said, I see why you defending him. I said, oh, don't worry about it. I said, you got it, champ. I said, but you know, you can go to hell right along with him. I said, if you think that that's acceptable to do, I said, you need to go to jail right with him. And I get so sick. I want to tell every organization, stop letting them grown people come in there, especially if you ain't seen them at no other fraternity function. I'm talking about you ain't seen them in no community service or community outreach. You ain't seen them in no charity events. You ain't seen them in no fundraisers or anything like that. But you can always see them at homecoming. They'll be there front row and center with their letters on. You'll see them at every tailgate at every home football game. You'll definitely see them at the pledge sessions late at night. And you definitely always see them in Hell Week being the overzealous idiot that's in their face that I'm the poster child, or I'm the epitome of whatever organization I am. They'll never want to do what the principles are for that, but can put them letters on and send people through the ringer and, like, you know, jump in people's face and this, that, and the third. I'm going to constitute this. Once some people graduate, if necessary, because, you know, sometimes it might be y'all low on numbers y'all need, but there needs to be a stipulation of how many years pass you can be at them things. If your ass is over 5 years, 10 years removed, you don't need to be in them intake sessions. You don't need to be invited to Hell Week. There's like a thing we got in the Navy. It was called a DRB, Disciplinary Review Board. That's when every E7 through E9 chief petty officers, they can come in there and somebody got in trouble, they can sit there and grill you. They call it a fact-finding mission, but it's bullshit. It's a bully session. And they can come in there and they can grill a sailor. Half of them don't even know you. But they can sit there and say something about you and in your face call you a disgrace and all that. And 9 times out of 10, half of them have done what you done, or they just a despicable, or they doing way more despicable shit than you have. Because I've seen chiefs go there, tell me, I'm going to light this dude up at DRB. Then they turn around and they do something even more despicable. I didn't actually been an eyewitness and got a few of them out of them. One, because they was wrong what they did. Two, they were just despicable people. And one good turn deserves another. But stop having them folks come in there. Because they, like I said, they don't do anything for the fraternity. Probably ain't even hardly graduated if they did by the skin of their teeth. And 9 times out of 10, I guarantee you, they ain't financially active. But they can put this, oh, I was this and I was made in this chapter and this, that, and the third and all that. You know, I got a friend of mine, a very close friend of mine. I remember a few years ago, he said, man, y'all damn black fraternities and sororities, y'all ain't nothing but some educated gang members. I said, man, what, man? Come on now, it ain't that deep. We ain't know. Then he broke it down. He said, y'all got different colors. Y'all got different hand signals. Y'all got chapters. He said, they ain't nothing but sets. And he said, y'all got to beat people's ass to get in there. And then once they in there, they in there for life. I tried to argue that man tooth and nail about that. But after seeing this situation with Caleb Wilson at Southern University in Baton Rouge, can't even argue with the brother. Because it looks like he's 100% correct. All I just want to say is prayers go out to the family of Caleb Wilson. And may God have mercy on Caleb McCrae's soul. Because, boy, you're going to need to come judgment day. You ain't the only one, and a couple of other people who was there who did what they did. I'm so sick of hearing this from these black Greek letter organizations. Anyway, that's been my time, y'all. Ran a little bit over on the porch that I can, but that was a lot on my heart. I know what y'all can do. Y'all can find me on Facebook. You know my name. You can find me on Instagram, PeteMac10, PeteYMac10, or you can find me on TikTok. That's PeteMac89. Spelled the same way as Instagram. Just drop the 1 and 0, put an 8 and 9 right there. Please help me make my TikToks go up, because I'm kind of somewhat starting to do number. I got a lot of pretty women commenting on my stuff now, so I'm coming up in the game. But anyway, till next week, y'all be cool, stay calm, and get paid. Peace.